Good morning. I thought I'd just share with you how I get ready to start a new project. The new project is going to be based around this beautiful dilapidated old needlepoint that I found at Vinnie's for $3. Home is where the heart is. I've taken it off its frame and given it a wash, and it's sort of given me the inspiration for what I want to do with the rest of this slow stitch quilt. So I've spent about an hour and a half down here and gone through my stash just looking for things that I think might work with this quilt, and I thought I'd just share them with you so you can see how I start. So obviously this is my starting point. I then went and had a look at the rest of my little stash of needle points, and I think this little guy's gorgeous. So I'm going to take him out of his frame and deconstruct him and get him ready for a new home. Just to give you an idea, he is about 9 inches long, so he's going to find a new home. I also picked up this little guy some time ago at an op shop. He was again $3, seems to be a going rate. I didn't realise it was Captain Cook's cottage, so I'm going to pull this off and use that as one of the focal points. I've also got this larger unfinished, it's absolutely huge, needle point, so I'll just open that up. You can see that it's actually been done to about here, but that's perfect. I'm going to cut it up, whether I use it for 2 different houses by cutting it or using it for one, I'm not sure yet, but it's definitely going to be in this quilt. So I tend to work in each panel has something special, whether that special thing is like a needle point, or it might be with this one, for example, I want the special thing to be a house block of some sort if it doesn't already have an embroidery. So some of the other bits and pieces that I found, and it's different for everyone. I think for me, home is where the heart is. We always have a dog, so I've got already cut out some of these dog shapes. I think they're from a Margaret Sampson George template. Some Kathy Holden, some of her fabric from a little while ago. I've just torn off the ones that I think will work for this. Some toile. My vision of this quilt is going to have quite a bit of garden in it because I'm a gardener and my home always has gardens. So I've got that lovely little garden pergola thingy there, some more Kathy Holden, and then some other treasures that I just found that I thought it might work. Now this lady, it's very, very pink. So I'm going to leave her pink for now, and then when I'm ready to use her, I'll just see whether I need to tea dye her or whether pink's going to work. I've gone through my doilies. This little guy has got some treasures on him. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use this little house here for the girl. I've got some cut out flowers. I love the green on this doily that I'm going to use for garden edging. Look at this beautiful hanky that someone's made. It was 50 cents. But I'm definitely going to cut this little tree out and use that. I looked at this and thought of a picket fence straight away, so he'll go in my new home. This little guy looks like he needs a home in my quilt. Again, there's a few different things on there. These are beautiful old blue willow ones. Is that a swing or a pergola? Yeah, a little pergola. Some more of the Kathy Holden tapestry fabric, a bit of toile. And then I've got some more shapes. These are actually ones that my mum gave me, and when she'd finished a project, I think I'm going to call them dogs, and then some people. And again, I think these are Margaret Sampson George templates. So I've got a few little people. I've got some of this beautiful old chintz that features a couple of Labradors, so I think they're going to find a home. More of that. And I've got this panel. And I just look at that middle piece and think, right, can I use you somewhere? And again, these will just go on the table next to me as I work, so I can pick and choose as I go. And then I've just gone through my doilies and things that I grabbed and thought were gorgeous. Some baskets. I'll cut all this up. I'm not even sure what this was for, but it's beautiful. Looks like it needs a home. Another blue doily. Isn't that gorgeous? So these are just in the might use pile. Love the little picket fence. I've got a picket fence here at Royal Cottage. Some more lovely little floral scenes, little birdhouse. And then a couple of very well used tea towels. I'm just looking for images that might inspire me. I'm not sure about that one. And I like the chicken on this one because I've always got chickens, but I'll have a look through those. So I kind of just have all that stuff to the side. I then go through my Suffolk puffs. These little guys are already made up, and they're very warm and lovely, and I think they're very homely, so I tend to use them that side up because I like the interest. As you can see, it's some of the 1930s fabrics with kids playing and little cats and things. Little Scotty dogs, so I've got them there to use. And then I kind of work from trays. So this is one of my trays that I'll have next to me. So this is divided up into, these are some little orphan pieces from recent projects that I'm going to reuse into this quilt. They're just from a little doll's quilt that I made too many because I don't seem to plan very well, so I'm going to find a home for them in here. They kind of look like doormats, don't they? They're very cute. I had one tree too many for my tree quilt. These beautiful little hexagons I think will make great frames for something in the middle there. And then this is my working from stash. So here I've got a whole heap of toile and fabric that I just love, that I think might go well in the background. I've got a whole heap of little shirtings here with the individual insects, some homey things that I found, a teacup, and this is all birds and animals here. And then this is just scraps of fabric from recent projects that I love. So I've tried to make them more likely to be used by putting a massive handful of those on here. And then that's one tray. Oops, then I have this tray, which is my more functional sort of tray. Here I've just got little tiny things that I tend to lose. So there's some little flowers cut out there. It's kind of look hard to save that, you know how it is. Some little bits of doilies, tiny pieces that I don't want to lose. Some things left over from Nautica there. And look at this, the world's tiniest little star. Can you see that? Little star button. Where is he? Can you see it? And then some treasures, and this is where I tend to put things that I definitely want to use. So I've just got this beautiful piece of lace. I've got a couple of really beautiful old Suffolk puffs that need a home, and then these are some of the flowers that I definitely want to use. It seemed to have been a real mixture of colours, everything from yellow all the way through to brown, and some little duck shapes. Then I keep all my pins and my threaded needles here, and my safety pins there. And then finally this last tray where I have my stash of doilies and bits and pieces that are already in the chop, under the chop. So these ones have already all been chopped up. They're in the process of being, every scrap's being used of them. So I tend to work from here first, so I can make sure I use every single square inch of a doily. As you can see, these beautiful old ones. Some of these are ones that my family have given me, or my family have made. Some have been given to me by my mum and by mum's friends, Helen and Annie and Denise down at the Sunshine Coast. And then more recently, the lovely Lorraine, who just lives around the corner from me, has given me a whole bag that I haven't even opened yet. So that's so exciting. But here's my kind of fabric doilies, here's my crochet doilies, and I use these a lot. I tend to cut out the shapes, use them for frames. I've got some square ones there. And you'll see them featured a lot in my work, and I love this little blue one. I've used a big piece of that in my entry for the Oh My Stars quilt. As you can see, I kind of just cut the middle out and use that. So that's that tray. And then finally, look at this beautiful one. So he is definitely going to have his own spot on my quilt. He'll be his own little feature. Isn't that divine? I've got all these lovely colours, and he's all worn, and look how neat that is on the back. Oh my goodness. And then finally I've got my two little cups. The theme of this quilt is home is where the heart is. So I've got this little heart that I made ages ago. I think I might find a home for him in there somewhere. I tried to put him on Nautica multiple times, but it just didn't work, so he might have a home here. And then in here I've got, did a quick look for heart buttons, have several, and I'm thinking that in each of the houses or homes that I create, I'm going to put a little button or a little heart somewhere, whether that's a button or a little bit of embroidery or applique, I'm not sure yet. And then these were buttons that grabbed me. I bought this recently in Maryborough, this beautiful little cottage. These are little bird houses, some beautiful little terracotta guys, a little pot which I might feature. One of these, I think they're the last two of those schoolhouse buttons I've got, wheelbarrow. So they're all there as inspiration. So that's just the beginning. I haven't pulled fabrics from my stash yet. So if you are wanting to join in and create your own slow stitch piece, you're more than welcome to stitch along with me. You can do one piece, or I think I'll do 9, so one a month for 9 months, and then a couple of months at the end to put it all together, because that's a bit of a job if you're wanting to put the whole thing together. So if you do gather up some bits and pieces like this, it's completely up to you what you would like to put in your quilt. There's no rights or wrongs or pattern. And I'm going to start with some very cheap and friendly sheeting, and I'm going to do a 25-inch square. So I'm going to be doing 9 25-inch squares, and because we don't hem, those pieces will just overlap, so it will end up about 72 inches by 72 inches. So I hope you join in.